The Tequila Worm by Viola Canales. Chapter 11. Berta's Quinceañera. The next morning, I was sitting at the kitchen table looking at the school brochure and thinking about the picture of the students all dressed up for dinner. I was also thinking that even if I got Mama's blessing, how could I raise that $400, the parents' contribution? Berta walked in the door all excited. "Sophia, what are you doing?" She grabbed the brochure. "Boy, I don't know. You're such a tomboy, and look here," she said, pointing to the dinner picture. "All the girls are in nice dresses. You can't even bother to comb that crazy Indian hair of yours." I grabbed it back. "No, seriously. You're the smartest person I know, but you still look and act like a kid. Why don't you grow up?" Berta walked over to the counter and poured herself a cup of coffee. I sighed. I wanted to just laugh it off, but I stared blankly at the table, knowing that Berta was leaning against the counter staring at me. "Okay," I said. "Let's not start this again. You said you were coming over to tell me how I can support your dream, so tell me." Berta sat down at the table. "I want you to be my dama de honor, my maid of honor at my quinceañera." "What do I have to do exactly?" "Well, you're going to have to look and act mature for one. Come on, tell me or I won't do it." "Oh, but I've already talked to your mama months ago." "And what does she have to do with this?" "A lot. She's one of the comadres who's helping me, and she thinks this will be good training for you." "For me?" "Yes, it will help you, especially since you told her you don't want a quinceañera yourself. As my dama de honor, you'll have to wear a long dress, have a chambelán, and dance at my ball." "I don't have a long dress or a boyfriend, and I don't know how to dance." "The comadres have taken care of all that. You think I'd leave these things to you? Dios mío. Look, you're my best friend, and this is my party, and..." Okay, I said. "I'll do it. But remember, you told Tia Petra you'd support my dream. Papa said I can go to that school, but I still need to convince Mama." Berta smiled. "Okay, it's a deal. You be my dama, and I'll help convince your mama. But you'll see the two are connected. And you know what?" "What?" "After the comadres are all done with you, you'll know that you're not only smart, but pretty too." I sighed, but now I was at the point where I'll do anything to go to St. Luke's. The next 7 days were pure hell. We drove around and around in Berta's new car, a bottle green Chevy, her parents' birthday present. Berta had a special hardship license to drive at 15 since Tia Belia didn't drive, her brother, Beto, didn't live at home, and her papa had an injured foot. We drove from the bakery to the flower shop to the dress boutique to the church to the caterer and then back to the bakery. How could any of this possibly have anything to do with connecting with Mama? After triple checking on the cake, I got into the car and kicked the seat. Berta started backing out. "Is this it? I mean, we've already stopped everywhere at least twice. I hope we're heading home now. I really need to study." "No. Sophia, remember? I told you that I needed you until 8 o'clock tonight." "But for what?" "Now we're going straight to La Plaza Hotel." "But we were there yesterday." Berta started laughing. "What?" "You'll see." As Berta stepped on the gas, I noticed she was wearing new white sandals and stockings. I looked at my torn white sneakers. I started to get a headache. "Oh, Sophia, cheer up. It's not that bad, is it?" At the traffic light, Berta turned and smiled with her perfect white teeth. I shook my head and kicked the seat again. "Sophia, what are you thinking?" I shook my head. "What?" "Nothing," I sighed. "Sophia," Berta said, driving again, "stop being a mule and talk to me. I can't read minds, you know." "How is this all going to help me connect with Mama? I don't have much time left." "Okay, genius. Here's a clue. Why do you think I'm having a quinceañera in the first place?" "Because you've turned 15. "Wrong, Sophia. It's because the comadres are making it happen for me. They all got together, including your mama, and they have been helping me plan it for at least 6 months now. and they're making it really special and beautiful. My family alone could have never done this. For one, they wouldn't be able to afford it. And two, a quinceañera is my coming out party. Yes, but it also brings everyone together. So all in all, it's helping me learn how to be a comadre. How? Well, I had to learn how to go about getting padrinos and madrinas to sponsor and pay for my cake, the dance, the flowers, and on and on. I also had to assemble my court of honor by finding 14 damas and 14 chambelanes to represent my past 14 years. I had to go talk to the priest about the spiritual meaning of turning 15. It's like preparing for your first communion. It's all about growing up and joining the community. Berta turned left onto Main Street. As for your mama, start acting like you're not a kid anymore and show her that you can take care of yourself. But how? Sophia, I know you can look out for yourself. Your papa knows too. But to your mama, you're still a kid. And no mother is going to send her kid away, especially to a world she doesn't know. So you need to show her that you've grown up. Berta parked the car. Show her that you can function in the real world too, in the world of people, not just in your books and soccer and those crazy stories you tell. And you can start doing it right now. What do you mean? It's a surprise, she said. Berta dragged me through the massive door of the hotel, the most beautiful in the valley. It was white stucco with a red tiled roof and tiled floors and secret courtyards and stone fountains like a Spanish hacienda. Berta walked me out to the main courtyard. Sophia, Sophia! It was Mama. Hurry! You only have 10 minutes before it starts. I turned and saw Berta laughing from across the courtyard. She was standing with Jaime beside the Spanish fountain. As I followed Mama to the ladies' room, I got a few clues as to what this surprise was about. One was seeing Berta's other damas standing around in their new dresses. Tia Belia, who was a seamstress, had been busy making them. Mama was carrying a big paper bag with her. Then I bumped into Beto, Berta's older brother, in a tux. He had terrific teeth like Berta, and he was over 6 feet tall. He flashed a big smile at me. Sophia, are you ready to dance? I laughed. My headache was back. She will be, Mama said as she hurried me along. Beto's your chambelán, she said as we passed the 12 mariachis tuning their instruments. They looked dazzling in their black charro outfits with silver buttons all down their pants and vests. Here, she took my dress out of the bag. I went inside one of the stalls and put it on. It was white with orange and green lace trim along the waist and collar and puffy sleeves. Sophia, come on out, you're late. I sighed, then remembered what Berta had said. I put on a smile, but my headache kept getting worse. Oh, Sophia, Mama said. You look so pretty, so grown up. Wow, this is working. Thank you, Mama, I said, tripping. Hold still, she scolded. I stood stiffly, doing my best to keep my smile going. As Mama pinned a pair of earrings on me, then added her pearl necklace, a touch of lipstick, rouge. But I drew the line at stockings. I put on my flat black shoes. Oh, it's amazing, Mama said as she came at me again with a big tube of red lipstick. You're so beautiful. I started rolling my eyes but caught myself and smiled instead. Thank you, Mama. My headache had spread to the very front of my head. For the next 3 hours, Berta's royal court was put through an excruciating hands-on crash course on the correct use of utensils, polite conversation, handling social mishaps, and dancing. This boot camp culminated with our having to go out to the courtyard and dance to the vows Dulce Quinceañera. As I inadvertently kicked Beto in the shins for the 4th time, I wondered why the boys always got to lead. That night, I found Papa at the kitchen table carving something with his knife, and I told him what the comadres had just put us through. Ah, La Plaza Hotel. That's where I first saw your mama. She was dancing in that very courtyard, and that's when I fell in love with her. It was hard to imagine Papa falling in love, for he was always so calm, reserved, thoughtful. Falling in love sounded like losing control. Yes, back then, La Plaza held a dance every Saturday. I went one Saturday with a couple of friends. I had just returned from the Korean War. We were out in the courtyard drinking beers. The mariachis were playing. Couples were dancing. And then I saw your mama dancing a vals. She was wearing a bright red dress and had the brightest smile, the sweetest eyes. She looked so beautiful. I stood there watching her all evening. Of course, everybody wanted to dance with her. And she did every kind of dance. Rancheras, polkas, cumbias, valses. She was amazing. But I realized I didn't stand a chance with her unless I could dance too. Now it's your turn to learn. We went outside and Papa taught me how to dance the lead to Julia. On Berta's big day, I woke early and made breakfast for everybody. Then I put on my dress and let Mama pretty me up. The priest's blessing of Berta at the church was followed by the reception, and after Berta had posed for a zillion pictures, the damas all danced with her. Then Berta's father started waltzing her around the courtyard. Berta's mother appeared carrying a white satin pillow with a tiara and high heels. She placed the pillow in front of Berta, and then she and Berta's father replaced Berta's flower headpiece with the tiara and her flat shoes with heels. The vows started again, but now Berta danced with all 14 of her chambelans, and finally with Jaime. She looked so beautiful in her flowing white dress and so grown up. It struck me how much I'd miss her if I went away to school, how much I'd miss all my family and friends. Finally, Berta's towering cake was wheeled into the middle of the courtyard. Her parents reached up and took the little doll from the top of the cake, a replica of Berta, tiara, gown, and all. They presented it to Berta as her last doll ever. Berta cut the cake. Later in the evening, Papa whispered something to the lead mariachi. Papa looked so handsome in his dark suit and his brown and white boots. Then Julia started to play. He whispered to me, and I walked across the courtyard. Mama, can I have this dance? I said. She looked surprised and then laughed as I took her in my arms and we started waltzing, just like Papa had taught me. Mama, I said, counting steps in my head, I love you. I love you too, mija. It's like a dream. Me and you dancing to Julia in the same courtyard where I met your papa. And you looking so beautiful, so grown up. Mama, I have a dream too. What's that, mija? To go to that school. What does Papa say? He supports it so long as you do. But what about Lucy? Ay, Mama, she's just like you. She'll go along with whatever you say. But what about those dresses you'll need and the $400? Don't worry about that. My comadre Berta and I got all that figured out. Your comadre Berta? Mama laughed. Okay, mija, you have my blessing. Mama had tears in her eyes. We kissed when the vows ended, and as we sat at the table, I winked at Papa and turned to Lucy next to me. Lucy, is it all right if I go to that school? Mama and Papa said it's okay if it's okay with you. Lucy looked at Mama, who nodded. Okay, said Lucy quietly. I moved closer and squeezed her hand. I'll come home as often as I can, I whispered. So let's celebrate, Papa said. I'll be right back. He returned with Berta in one arm and a tiny bottle of mezcal in the other. Sophia? Berta beamed. I told you our dreams were connected. Papa poured 5 copitas of mezcal. Mine was a drop. To Berta's and Sophia's dreams, Papa said, toasting. He gulped his down. I gulped, coughed. Whoa. Everyone else took a sip. And Sophia, always remember Clara's cure for homesickness, the tequila worm. Papa finished the worm out, dangled it between his fingers, and then bit it. He started chewing it slowly. Yuck, we all said. Sophia, here's your half, Papa said. I left the best part for you. The head. And remember to chew it slowly. It won't dissolve like a holy host. Yuck! Berta, want a big bite? I said. No way. I took the head of the tequila worm. Squishy. I put it in my mouth. Squishy. And started chewing. It felt... I swallowed. Squishy. Gross, Sophia. Everyone laughed. And Papa said, once you go, I'll be sure to send you a whole tequila worm in the mail. I laughed, but anxiety flooded me. I'd been so intent on getting my parents to let me go that I hadn't thought about actually leaving.